Hey everybody, Allie with Novella Bloom. It is the first weekend of fall 2023. Very exciting. I think that fall is probably my favorite season here in the Pacific Northwest. I don't know, ask me again in the spring and the summer. But right now I'm really enjoying the cooler weather and the rain and just getting excited for the fall garden to take off. I wanted to show you the perennial bed that I started in this cut flower garden, but I couldn't walk by the dahlias without showing you really quick how they're looking. It's really pretty. I think that's bride-to-be or bridezilla. Got a Santa Claus and then my cafe au laits. And then over here we have the Ova Joes. I need to stake these up. I didn't stake my dahlias this year. I probably should have. I think next year I'm going to put some obelisks in the middle of these beds and tie the dahlias to the obelisks. Pink petticoat. Lights out. Love this dahlia. I wasn't big on dark dahlias till I planted this one. She is beautiful. And then Nick Sr. are arguably one of my favorite dahlias. It's kind of tied with tartan. But yeah, they are loving this rain. But here's what I wanted to show you, kind of what I'm working on now. So I'm just starting my first perennial bed for my cut flower garden. And when I first started kind of thinking about what flowers I wanted to grow, I was really just focusing on annuals. And the reason I was focusing on annuals is because most of them are so bright and colorful. And when you cut off one of the blooms, they very quickly send out new blooms. And so if I'm going to be making bouquets every weekend, I want to have a good inventory of flowers. So I was just, originally going to just grow annuals in the cut flower garden. But then I started doing some more research on perennials as cut flowers. And I realized that if I cut a bloom off, yeah, I won't have as many blooms, new blooms pushing out. But perennials are plants that come back every year. So each season I'll have fewer blooms to use in bouquets, but the plants will last for years. So it's a good long-term investment. I think every cut flower garden should have some perennial flowers in there. You want to make sure that, you're buying perennials that are good for your growing zone. And, as long as they're not taken out by like a severe frost or, some wildlife don't take them out, perennials will come back for years and years. So you can also see my husband's peppers in the background. He loves his hot peppers. So anyway, I wanted to kind of just show you each plant and tell you a little bit about it. This first one is a Rudbeckia. I actually have 4 of them. And I'm just gonna kind of read you the tag so you have the information about each one. This is Rudbeckia Indian Summer, and it is deer resistant. I don't know of many plants out there that are, deer proof. I think that if the deer are hungry enough, they'll pretty much eat anything. But I've read that what makes this deer resistant is the foliage. It's kind of hairy and rough, and it's just not appealing to eat. So I don't know if you can see the hairs, but the flowers are nice and soft and I'm sure delicious. But the deer have to get through the foliage first. And yeah, I think they just don't like the foliage. So I have one of those, and then I have, this is Rudbeckia hirta, Amarillo Gold. Oh, I forgot to read the tag for this one. Sorry. Okay, hardy to 0 degrees. It grows 36 to 42 inches tall, 24 inches wide. It blooms summer through frost. Large golden yellow blooms on sturdy plants, long-lasting, good for beds, borders, and cut flowers, easy to grow in almost any location, tolerant of poor soil, heat, and drought, and does not need staking. Okay, and then back to this one. So the Amarillo Gold, full sun, moderate watering, grows 12 to 16 inches tall. You want to space them about 12 inches apart, and it blooms in the summer. This bed I got from Costco, and it comes, excuse me, with these grids that you put in. And so it's perfect spacing if you want to space your plants 12 inches apart. So I'm thinking I might take out the grids next year and just kind of have this one big bed and have everything just kind of growing together. I don't know. We'll see. Okay. And then this one, I accidentally threw away the tag. But it's a Rudbeckia. And I really love kind of the red center. And then the dark brown, or the whatever that is. What's this thing called? I don't remember what it's called, but anyway, super pretty. This one is about, I don't know, 2 feet tall. And then this is the last Rudbeckia. I just planted it today. It is called Autumn Colors, also deer resistant. And it is hardy to 0 degrees. It grows 36 to 48 inches tall, 24 inches wide, late summer to fall bloomer. Vivid gold and orange flowers with a red ring and brown cones. Strong stems, ideal in beds and large containers. Prefers average moist soil with good drainage. I did plant these pretty close together. I think in the spring, I will either leave them in here or I may take them out and plant them out in the landscape. I'm not sure. But anyway, those are the Rudbeckias. Then I have some Caryopteris, I think is how you pronounce it, also known as bluebeard. And this has quickly become one of my favorite plants. It's this beautiful purple color that blooms in late summer when a lot of other plants are kind of petering out. And just a magnet for pollinators. So bees and butterflies and hummingbirds love to visit all of these plants, actually, but especially the Caryopteris. And yeah, it's just really, really beautiful with the yellow and kind of the magenta of the celosia, which I will talk about too. Celosia is not a perennial, or at least this one's not a perennial, but I love it for fall arrangements. So I planted it in here in the perennial bed just for this year. Next year I'll put it in an annual bed. But those are the bluebeard Caryopteris, and then this is another Caryopteris. Let's see if I can get a good shot here. Kind of doesn't want to like focus on it. Maybe that'll help. Anyway, this is Caryopteris goldcrest, deer resistant also. And this one has golden foliage accentuated by purple flowers. In late summer and fall, bright yellow foliage will not fade in intense sunlight. Sun to part sun, hardy down to zone 6. Let dry between waterings. 28 to 36 inches tall, 24 to 30 inches wide. Summer to fall bloomer. So I have 2 of those. Got 2 of the bluebeards and 2 of the goldcrests. And then another perennial in here I actually just cut back. I think I'm gonna take this one out in the spring and plant it in the landscape. I love it. I think I just have a better spot for it out in the landscape. So it's a Shasta daisy, a bright perennial, comes back every year, full sun. What's it say on the back? Keep moist first year, 2 times per week after. Yeah. Cold hardy down to -10. It's not hardy in zones 1 through 4. It grows 14 to 16 inches tall, 14 to 16 inches wide. You want to space them 16 to 18 inches apart. Fertilize in spring and summer. So that's a good one for a cut flower. And then my other perennial is Autumn Joy Sedum. Can't go wrong with this one. I need to purchase 3 more to finish this row. But I have some of these planted in my front yard next to my limelight hydrangeas and my Roseanne geranium. And it's just gorgeous. The blooms start out white and then turn to this really beautiful pinky red, kind of maroon color. The foliage is really pretty. It's like a bluish green foliage. These will die back in the winter, and then they'll flush out in the spring. So yeah, Autumn Joy Sedum. If you don't have any of that in your garden, I highly suggest you get some, plant some. And then the last ones, these are annuals. This is, I think, Dragon's Breath Celosia. Like I said, I'll be putting these in the annual cut flower garden. But this year I decided to kind of plant them in here with the perennials just because I love the contrast of the colors. Like, look at that. How beautiful is that? The Rudbeckia, the Caryopteris, and the Celosia. So, yeah. The first perennials of Novella Bloom Cut Flower Farm are in. Looking great. Loving the rain. And I'll keep you posted on how they do. Hope you all have a great rest of your weekend. Bye.